questions you're probably asking is, where should I live? And that's a really good question because Galveston is not a one size fits all. You can drive from one side of the island and find a completely different neighborhood, different style homes, and honestly, completely different lifestyle in general from one side of the island to the other. Hi, I'm Rose Lazo, your Galveston realtor, and today I'm talking through 5 neighborhoods I think you should know about and consider when you're moving here to Galveston. We're going to be talking about Beachtown, Beachside Village, Colony Park, Midtown, and Evia. And I'm going to tell you not only what you'll find there, but what type of buyer I think each neighborhood makes sense for. So let's get started. First, we're going to start with Beachtown. We're starting on the east end of the island, which houses Beachtown. And Beachtown is probably one of the most recognizable neighborhoods, recognizable luxury neighborhoods here in Galveston. The first thing you'll notice when you come into this neighborhood is the architecture. It doesn't look like your typical beach subdivision. You have gorgeous coastal homes with big porches, beautiful architecture details, walkable streets, and home designed to really embrace the near Gulf. Lots and lots of beautiful views. This community was actually master planned around traditional town planning principles. So things like walkable porches and public spaces and the relationship between the home and the streets were intentional. And that's part of what gives Beachtown its very distinct look. Another thing I think buyers should know is the location. You're on the east end of the island, so you're removed from some of the activity you get along the central part of the island and the seawall. But you're buying close to downtown, the Strand, UTMB, restaurants, and everything that's happening in the central part. And then, of course, you have the beach. This is very much a luxury coastal lifestyle. Another really interesting part of Beachtown is the construction, okay? Construction standard. New homes are required to follow specific coastal construction standards in Beachtown Village, including fortified requirements designed for our environment here on the Gulf Coast. That's something I think is incredibly important when you're talking about luxury and you're paying millions of dollars for homes that are near the water. So who do I think Beachtown is for? Well, let me tell you, if you said, Rose, give it to me, I would say, what are you looking for? I want luxury, I want beautiful architecture, I want to be close to the beach, but I want to also something peaceful, something different from the busy parts of the seawall. Then Beachtown would absolutely be the one of the first places I'd take you. The next community that I would have a chat with you about is Beachside Village. Beachside Village is one of my favorites. It's on the west end. It's on the completely opposite end of the island. And people sometimes compare Beachside Village with Beachtown because they're both very beautiful beach communities. But once you spend some time in both, they really have different personalities. Beachside Village gives you the classic Galveston beach house feel, whereas you're going to see colorful coastal homes in Beachside Village, large porches, metal roofs, picket fences, pedestrian walkways, green spaces, a lot of green spaces. And you have those really nice access to the beach pathways. Something else I think is really important about Beachside Village is that it feels like an actual neighborhood, whereas Beachtown is more of like a luxurious second home space. I see more residents in Beachside Village. It was designed with the idea around new urbanism. So the porches, the pedestrian walk areas, the parks, the green spaces, and the gathering spaces weren't accidental. They're done on purpose. The location is also a great location for someone who's wanting West End lifestyle without feeling like they're extremely far away from the island. You're just right off the seawall, and you have a lot of attractions right near you in Beachside Village. Now, here's something important if you're thinking about purchasing a second home or an investment property in Beachside Village. Beachside Village HOA does have some requirements and some regulations around rental of your rentals and how many you can own. So don't buy this property simply assuming I'll Airbnb it. There is some restrictions around that, and you just need to verify some of that stuff with HOA. That's something you want to understand before you're purchasing. If you came to me and said, Rose, I want something beautiful, I want a beautiful beach house, I want something on the West End, I want newer construction, beach access, and a neighborhood that actually feels like it's still part of Galveston, like I still get the Galveston vibes, I definitely take you to Beachside Village. And it's no secret, I am a huge fan of Beachside Village just because I love all the things that the HOA have available and accessible to you as a homeowner, as well as the fact that you are so close to everything and it is so easy to access that your second home if you did choose Beachside Village. Now, not everybody who moves to Galveston is expecting to buy a beach house, right? So we're going to talk about Colony Park. And we're going to change gears here a bit because, again, not everyone who moves to Galveston wants a beach house. Sometimes you guys are looking for primary residence and you want a garage, you want a yard, you want mature trees, right? And you want a neighborhood that feels a little bit more traditional in the sense, and that's where Colony Park comes in. Colony Park is located west of 69th Street, and it's around Colony Park Drive. When you drive through here, you're going to notice that it feels very different from Beachside and Beachtown. You're looking at a more established neighborhood, more established homes, mature landscaping, residential streets, and different architectural styles. And I think that's what makes Colony Park attractive. You still get to live in Galveston without necessarily living the beach house lifestyle. You also conveniently located for everyday island living, right? And near the West End attractions around Moody Gardens and Schlitterbahn, but you're also right there next to Walmart, and you have all these like amazing little restaurants and breakfast places right there. You're not far from the seawall, and again, restaurants and shopping and other parts of the island and what it has to offer are just at your fingertips. So if you told me, Rose, I want to live in Galveston full time, I don't need to be directly on the beach. I'd rather have a traditional home and a residential neighborhood. Colony Park is definitely somewhere I'd want you to see for sure. Now, next we're going to talk about Midtown, which that makes me excited. This is probably one of my favorite areas because this is where you really start seeing the character of Galveston. So if you ask me where would I see the most character of Galveston, I'd say Midtown. And Midtown is somewhere between 21st Street to 35th Street. That's the specific area I'm going to talk about today. I'd love if you love homes that don't look like everyone else's, and you're wanting each home to look different near you, Midtown is worth exploring. Okay, you'll find cottages, bungalows, older homes, beautifully renovated properties, and homes that still have like the original architecture and details. And sometimes you'll see all of that on the same street. It's so cool. And that's what I love about it. There's personality here. Location is also one of Midtown's biggest advantages. You're centrally located, so you're close to the seawall and to the beach. You have Pleasure Pier, restaurants, downtown, the Strand, and so many of those places people enjoy are all locals, and you have that local feel too. It's just wonderful. But here's something I will always tell buyers when we're touring older homes is don't get distracted by the charm that you forget to look behind the walls, right? We need to know what's been updated. How old is the electricity? What about the plumbing, HVAC, the roof, foundation? Has the home been renovated? And if so, what was actually done, right? Those aren't reasons to avoid buying a historical home or an older home. It's just some of the most beautiful properties in Galveston are older. And so you need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence as we are thinking through buying any of those properties. They're just as wonderful, and most of the investors here who have done those renovations do take great pride in doing them correctly, but we always want to ask. So if you ask me and you say, Rose, I want character, I want to be close to everything, I love the older architecture, and I want my home to feel uniquely Galveston, then I'm going to take you to Midtown for sure. Now, here is my final community. The last one that I recommend is Evia. Evia is another community that feels completely different from the others we've talked about. It's located on the west end across from Moody Gardens Golf Course. But what makes Evia special to me is that it isn't only about the houses, it's about the neighborhood, the neighborhood experience. You have adorable shops, walkable paths, green spaces. You have the gazebos, gathering areas, and beautiful landscaping throughout the entire community. You actually see people outside walking and enjoying the community. And then you have Evia, Maine, which is something I really want people relocating here to see, because you have local restaurants and businesses incorporated into the community, and you can grab a coffee, you can go get lunch or dinner, you can get your hair cut. I have there before, and really enjoy the neighborhood without ever getting into your car. You could just walk there, right? And so that's one of my favorite things about Evia itself. Architecturally, you'll also notice the homes have a lot of character. They did incorporate a lot of character. There are porches, landscaped streets, and intentional design that encourages people to interact with the community and the neighborhood. So if you come to me and ask and say, Rose, I want Galveston, but I don't necessarily need to live directly on the beach. I want something walkable. I want a community. I want people surrounding me. I want beautiful things surrounding me. And I want a place I can actually walk. I would probably then send you to Evia and say, let's go to Evia. I'm going to tell you, definitely Evia is one of those really beautiful places you're going to want to check out. So, big question, where should you live? Well, Okay, so we've gone through all the communities. I'll keep it really simple. If you want luxury architecture and East End beachfront living, you want to live close to the hospital and downtown, but you still want seclusion, I'm gonna tell you Beachtown. If you want like classic West End beach house lifestyle, but you want to be close to the island and all the things it has to offer, I'm going to tell you Beachside Village. If you are looking for the more traditional residential neighborhood, consider Colony Park. And if you want character, older homes, and central Galveston, where all the things are happening, I'm going to tell you to explore Midtown. And if you want a planned walkable community with lakes and with the like man-made lakes and the shops and the gathering spaces and everything walkable, I'm going to tell you to check out Evia. But here's where what I really want you to remember. There isn't one best neighborhood in Galveston. There's a best neighborhood for you. Okay, so it really depends on what you're wanting. And if someone calls me about moving to Galveston, I just don't ask them how many bedrooms or bathrooms they want. I'm gonna need more information, like what do you want your life to look like here? Or do you want to be able to walk to the beach? Do you want a historic home? Do you want something quiet? Do you want a quieter neighborhood? Do you want luxury? Are you buying a second home? Are you buying an investment property? Or are you moving here full time? All of these things really require thought through, and it honors your time and my time. Once I know that, we can start narrowing down where you should actually be looking. If you are thinking about moving to Galveston, drop a comment below and tell me which one of the neighborhoods that I was telling you guys about most felt like what you were looking for. And keep in mind when you're looking, we have Beachtown, Beachside Village, Colony Park, Midtown, and Evia. Any of those neighborhoods are fantastic. If you're ready to start exploring Galveston, just reach out to me. And make sure you like and subscribe, guys, because we're going to keep exploring Galveston Island, looking at beautiful homes, local businesses, and real estate, and what it really looks like to live here. I am currently in my office in downtown Galveston. I have a beautiful view of the bay, and I see all of the cruise ships come through. It's really great. And I can't wait to see if you guys move here. Just hit me up. Until next video, I'll see you guys later.